or for your drug, or for your sugar, or for your salt. Those enzymes automatically will stabilize the spike of insulin that goes in and up and down in your body. A lot of times when you're craving a beer, you're really just low in your sugar content. That barley, that wheat turns into a sugar form. That's why people that usually drink, they usually have either a thick nose. Look at the guy from Star Trek. What the heck was his name? The chubby guy. What the heck? Captain Kirk. No. No. Yeah, Shatner. William Shatner. His face was puffy. His nose was puffy. Okay? Because sugar comes from the alcohol. And that sugar, even if you drink wine, turns to fat. And your body will pick up fat, usually in your face, your arms, and your belly. Because that's where the estrogen and collagen is. Okay? And so, what I'm telling you is, if you juice, you will cut down your cravings for food. But you gotta have protein. What I throw in here in the mornings is vegetables, ice, and water. Sometimes coconut water. Okay? And I also throw in flax seeds, I throw in chia seeds, and I also throw in some Greek yogurt. Even though I'm a vegan, right now I'm back on yogurt for right now. I'm not opposed to using Greek yogurt. Okay? I'm doing that for medical reasons right now to heal my skin from my surgery. So I'll put some Greek yogurt in here. That's perfectly fine. I throw some apple cider vinegar in here, some lemon in here, and I do every day. I tell you, do not use the same vegetables. Do not just use spinach. Do not just use kale. You will cause yourself to have Hashimoto's disease, an underactive or an overactive thyroid, or an autoimmune disorder if you're using just kale. Variety. Use the colors under the rainbow. Okay? Once I do that, if I want breakfast, because I do like to eat, and by the way, make no mistake about it, please stop blending this juice into an actual smoothie. You need to chew your juice. You need to actually have chunks in it. You need to chew it. There's a method to our madness about this. Thomas, you have the articles about chewing your juice. I don't mean where you got big chunks of kale in your mouth. I don't mean where you've got big spinach leaves hanging out your mouth or choking you down your throat. I mean just little particles. I use bell pepper, I use red bell pepper, I use bok choy, I use cabbage, I use garlic, I use cilantro, I use parsley. I could go on and on and on. I use rhubarb, I use things I don't even know. I don't even like collard greens, but I use collard greens. I don't even like mustard greens. I don't even know what they're for, but I juice them. Okay? So you want to make sure that those things are in there. Okay? So we talked about that last week, but I'm still getting people not quite getting this. They're saying it doesn't taste right. Add an apple if it's bothering you. Apple is one of the lowest glycemic indexes for sugar. Green apples especially. I do not put the skins in my juice because I do not believe in all the toxins. Even if I were to soak apples, they sit on a shelf from anywhere from 1 to 3 years. We put links in last week about that. They sit on a shelf for far too long with wax and chemicals. I do put pineapple in there. I do put mango. I pick my fruit wisely because too much fruit will make you fat. If you are trying to lose weight, yes, fruit is very good for you. It is one of the things that God gave us, or whoever the universe gave us, Mother Nature gave us, under the rainbow, that is extremely good for you. But I'm going to tell you something. It is very, very hard for you to lose weight if you're eating a lot of nuts and if you're trying to lose weight. Nuts are good for you. But if you're trying to lose weight for at least 3 weeks, you need to cut out sugar and nuts. Wow, I love nuts. That was really hard for me to do. Or, if you're going to eat nuts, you need to measure your nuts. You need to measure them. This is 1/4 of a cup. That is approximately 10 to 15 nuts. That's all you should be eating. I keep nuts with me in my car. I keep them with me in my gym bag. I keep them in my purse because each and every time you have a craving, the first thing you want to do is pull into a Circle K or a 7-Eleven or a Convenient Mart and get a bag of chips or get a donut. If you were just to simply have those nuts with you, you would cut those cravings down. So what I will also do in the morning is make whole steel-poked oats. Okay? I try to get this particular one from Costco because it's not been mashed down into that Quaker Oats, supposedly whole grain oats, bunch of crap. You want to get them where it's actually just split. You don't want them to actually be, processed. And unfortunately, Quaker Oats is very processed. Now, when you talk about reading labels, you want to flip the label around, and I'm going to show you on here, okay? Do you need to watch calories? Do you need to be concerned about fat grams? Do you need to be worried about carbohydrates? Yes and no. If something says it's got 3,000 calories in it, obviously that's a red flag. Okay? Thank you. If it says that it has a lot of sodium, here's the key. 100 grams of sodium in anything you eat or less. If a V8 juice that I was going to drink on the airplane when I went to go see Thomas had 760, the little can, 760 grams of sodium grams in it, that is a red flag. I did not drink it. 760 milligrams are in a little V8 juice on the airplane. Yes, the rule is 100 grams or less. Now, I asked you guys to get last week some Knorrs for your soup. There are two. I told you to be very careful. There's two out there. Do you know that when you read labels, I'm going to freak some of you guys out. My brother went to the store and he got the wrong one. So I was wondering why I was becoming so puffy. I didn't pay any attention because I thought my brother knew better, because we make the soup together, and I was like, God, why am I getting up? I'm drinking a bottle of water, got rid of that, and I was like, I'm still puffy. My arms are puffy, my belly's starting to get puffy. And guess what happened? There's two types of Knorrs. This is chicken bouillon that we use every day of the week. One half of the cube. Do you know how much sodium has in it? Let me show you, friends. Let's talk about freaking you out. One thousand 1,160. Or is that 1,160? 1,160 and a half of a bouillon. That is more than you're supposed to have in a week. Label reading. Who knew that half of this had 1,000? Watch this carefully again. He got the wrong one. Who knew? Let's try to get this a little closer so you guys can see it. Let me get real close. No tricks, no gimmicks. 1,160 and a half. This is biological food warfare. Is correct. This is why we're sick. Sodium is wreaking havoc on your heart, your valves, and on your brain, and on your joints, and on your thought process. Half of this has 1,160. I keep this around to show you that if you are not reading your labels, it makes you retain water, it makes you bloated, and it makes you feel like crap, it makes you want to get on the couch and sleep. And who frickin' knew? There are two kinds of this out there. 1,160 and a half a bouillon. Why am I gaining weight? Let's talk about something else. In the morning, I eat my oatmeal. Look what this says. This is a good thing when you can read the label. And what does it say sodium count is? 10 milligrams. For how much? A third of a cup. One serving. It's got 10 sodium. 10 sodium. 1,160 and a half of a bouillon. Wow, makes you think, doesn't it? Kind of scary. It is wreaking havoc on your body, the things that you are not reading. If you read nothing else, you're going to read two things: sodium and sugar. If you read nothing else. I implore you to read sodium, sugar, and fat. There are good fats and bad fats. If it has the word trans fat and saturated fat, stay away from it. Stay away from it unless it's low. Label reading. Do not fall for labels that say low fat. Low fat will mean add sugar. Low calorie will mean little portions, more and more and more. These little snack packs, 80 calories. Who eats 3 chips and are satisfied with 3 chips? So you think, oh, it's just a little box of cookies. Oh, let me go get one more little box of cookies. And I just had 3 little boxes of cookies. Now I took those 80 calories, multiplied it times 3, and I've just eaten 240 calories in one sitting. And I'm still hungry. And now I've just started a snowball reaction of needing sugar and more sugar and more sugar. So in the morning, I take this oatmeal and I add some chia seeds. Chia seeds are your friend. They will fill your belly up. They are high in protein. They are high in omega-3s, 6s, and 9s. No such thing as low fat or fat-free. They are hidden, tricked, and marketing ploys that make your body think, I am going to shrink because it says low fat. It says low fat on the thing of licorice. And yet the sugar grams are 48 sugar grams to 3 pieces of red vines. 48 sugar grams to 3 red vines. Yet it said low fat. 48 grams of sugar is about 3 candy bars. Those folks. How do you get your snacks? Your fruit and your vegetables are your friends. If you need snacks, make popcorn. Please write this down. Popcorn cooked with coconut oil. It does not taste like coconut oil. I don't like coconut. I can't stand coconut. You take about a tablespoon of this. Try it. Try it tonight. You take about a tablespoon of this. Try to buy your products that say non-GMO. We'll tell you again what GMO is another day. And you put it in a pan with some popcorn. It will be one of the best snacks you've ever eaten. It is low fat, low cal, no sodium, and doesn't need butter. This right here will make you think you just had the best popcorn in the world. It is my favorite. I also top it off with some fresh Parmesan cheese. Some fresh, or grade your own. Try to get the one that doesn't have any preservatives in it. In this particular ingredient here, Parmesan cheese, titanium dioxide is in here. Titanium dioxide is sunscreen. We, as an esthetician, I'm going to tell you, we have no business putting titanium dioxide in our gum, which has Wrigley's green chewing gum, and almost all Wrigley's gum has titanium dioxide. In Parmesan cheese, the first ingredient, it says Parmesan cheese, pasteurized, cultured, salt. Then they put the word enzyme in there because it makes you think that, oh, it's got to be healthy because it's an enzyme. That's a bunch of crap. All right, then it's got powdered sucrose, which I don't even know what the hell that is. Don't care to know. I don't eat this crap. Potassium sorbate sodium monate. What is that? The word potassium is a trick. It's a trick. Just because it's potassium, it's got to be good for me. This is crap in a can. Don't use it. Get your own, get it fresh, or create it on your popcorn. It would be the best snack you've ever eaten in your life. I love it. I eat it all the time. Is it high in carbs? Who cares? Because if you're eating healthy, you don't have to count calories. You don't have to worry about carbs. And you don't have to worry about things like that if you're eating the colors under the rainbow. You don't have to fall for the okie doke and worry about, well, it's got a lot of carbs in it. If you're eating a big bucket like this full, then yeah, maybe you worry about it. But if you're just eating a little bit of it and put a little bit of Parmesan cheese, you're good to go. So getting back to what I eat in the morning, I eat a little bit of this, a little flaxseed, and I sometimes put fruit in here, but since I made my juice, I don't put a lot of fruit in here. Sometimes I'll put some berries or some strawberries, and I always put cinnamon. Cinnamon will keep your blood sugar level. Cinnamon is your friend. You will love cinnamon. Make a note of that. If you're an alcoholic, you need to start using cinnamon. If you're a drug addict, you need to start using cinnamon. Cinnamon will do something to the chemistry of your brain. The serotonin and the melatonin and all your sugar spikes, all that, all those cravings for the drugs. It's right, cinnamon pills are fine if you don't want to take fresh cinnamon. Cinnamon will be your friend. It will keep you balanced out. So if you have a drinking problem or a drug problem or a food addiction problem, please start using cinnamon on everything. I put all that in my blender. I put cinnamon in my blender. I put all those things. What I'm telling you is I eat that fresh. I eat my oatmeal along with my juice. I'm full. Hello, Jeff. I'm full. Now, my cell phone goes off every 4 hours. So I'm busy starting my day, and I'm out and about, and Next thing I know, I'm hungry. But guess what? Have no fear. I've got nuts in my car for my morning snack. I'm really starting to feel a little shaky, a little freaked out. But guess what? Before I started juicing, before I started eating, I wasn't really worried about my health so much, so I would always stop and eat something fast. Fast food is not your friend. We got to get back into the kitchen, folks. Stop driving to eat your meals. Sit down and eat your meals. Stop eating in your car. Stop eating on the go. If you must, do what I do. I drive through a grocery store. I go in and I grab some hummus. I grab a bag of vegetables, and I sit in my car and I eat some hummus. That's my drive-through. Chew your food. Sit somewhere and enjoy your food. Think about, we eat in our kitchen. We stand up. Nobody sits at the table anymore. We eat in front of our computer. We eat in front of our TV. And we eat and we eat and we don't realize we're eating to the point of being too full. You should never, make a note of this please, never eat until you're full. When you start getting full, slam down another 8 ounces of water. Never eat until you're full. What you will do is expand your stomach, and so an hour later you're starving. Never eat till you're full. Stop driving through anything convenient. What makes you think that a 99-cent hamburger is a meal? When did anybody cook things in 30 seconds, call that dinner? Do you ever remember your mother or your grandmother saying, dinner, done, 30 seconds, come on kids, let's go, wash your hands, set the table, sit down, let's eat, we're done. Doesn't work like that. Why is it that if you look back at the series, Little House on the Prairie, none of them were fat? Or the Waltons, they weren't fat. You know why? They worked. They walked. They didn't have cars. They had horses. They worked in the fields. They didn't have McDonald's. They didn't have Taco Bells. They ate. They sat together and they gathered together and they ate. If you do nothing else, sit down and eat one meal a day. Sit down, turn off Pal Talk, turn off the TV, sit down and eat your meal. Please stop going through Jack in the Box. Please stop getting 2 tacos for 99 cents. But wishing you don't understand, I'm broke. I can't feed my kids. That's all I can give them is 2 tacos for 99 cents. I'm sorry, but I beg to differ. You can go to the dollar store like I did. I do. And guess what you can feed your kids? Simple. Chili beans, low salt, wrapped in a piece of lettuce or wrapped in a lettuce wrap, or what do you call those things, pita bread or whatever. You can make a meal for 99 cents that is full of protein, low in sodium, low in fat, and excellent for you in a tortilla wrap. Exactly. Stop using the excuse that I'm broke, I can't eat healthy. Eating healthy is expensive. That's a bunch of crap. Not everybody has to buy organic. If you can afford it, it's better. Is it the best out there? No, because as I told you last week, organic is not really organic in America. I don't know about other countries, but when you get it from America, the government makes them radiate the food. So if they're microwaving our food before we eat it, what makes you think that it's organic? Does it have less pesticides? Absolutely. Do I buy it whenever possible? Can everybody afford it? Absolutely not. Can you get the pesticides off your food completely? No. Can you get them off some? Absolutely. Soak it in vinegar. Any vinegar will do. My snack I've just eaten now, I'm really hungry, and I'm driving, and I'm like, oh, frick, I can't get home. I can't get to the office. I need something to eat. So guess what? I will go in and get some hummus, or I'll get some cheese strings, or I will pull over and get some nuts if I don't have them in my car, which I must always do. Find healthy alternatives and eat. Your cell phone needs to go off every 4 hours. Even if you're thin, you need to eat. A car in the garage that's a Porsche or a Mercedes or a Benz, or a Beamer, is just a car. I don't care what you paid for that car. If it doesn't have gasoline, it's going to look good. It's not going to feel good, and it's not going to run. So, what I want you to do is eat every 4 hours. Then what you can do is eat half of a piece of chicken breast without the skin. Nothing about chicken skin is good for you. I don't care if it tastes good or not. Do you want to live? A little bit of moderation won't hurt you at a barbecue. If you must eat it, you need to take the chicken skin off. Have some chicken breast for lunch. People that go and have these salads. I'm going to go eat a salad today. I love salad. But if you think you're going to get skinny eating salads, you are mistaken. How many in here are overweight and eat salads all the time? Give me one. Be honest. How many eat a ton of salads and still overweight? Or have belly fat or arm fat? Give me one. I eat salads all the time. Let's talk about salad dressings. If you're not making your own salad dressing, you are going to get fat. Ranch dressing, even light ranch dressing, number one, is loaded with chemicals and toxins. Number two, it is nothing but poison to your body. It is the enemy. It is not good for you. Vinegar and oil and lemon juice. A lot of people from Greece or Italy or France got it going on. You know why you don't see a lot of fat people in Brazil or a lot of fat people in Greece or a lot of fat people in France or Italy, even though they eat a lot of pasta in Italy? Is because they don't use. They're big on spices. They're big on herbs. They're big on lemons. They're big on organic things that come from trees and olives and things like that. Mediterranean diet is one of the best things you could ever possibly eat. They don't use things that are bottled up. They don't go and buy a bunch of crap. They make it themselves. They don't have a lot of obesity rate like Americans. Why do we have toddlers that are overweight? Toddlers, babies in America are fat. I see little tiny itty bitty 5-year-olds that are almost 100 pounds because of the formula, because of the baby cookies, because of the little jars of baby food with all the preservatives, all the salt, and all the crap. And they feed them off the McDonald's menu for $1. They go and get them an Egg McMuffin. They go to Taco Bell for lunch. They go to Taco Bell for dinner. And they feed them pot pies and they feed them top ramen. Today I was at the store and I was appalled. All these little fat kids, and I wanted to cry because I wanted to say to the mom, "What are you doing? You've got a whole cart full of top ramen. 2 for $1. Top ramen is one of the worst things you can feed. You know what people think? Oh, it's good for me. There's nothing in it, so it's got to be low calorie, right?" As you saw, half one of these bouillons said, I showed you the label, 1,160 sodium grams. What do you think of top ramen's glue? It's starch and it's potato sugar. You think you're going to sit around and eat top ramens and you're going to be healthy. Oh, but I add some eggs to it and I made egg wonton soup. Wrong. These kids were so fat, and I stood in line, and I know making this face like, I was like hyperventilating under my breath. I'm like, shut the hell up. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. I wanted so bad to tell the mom, you are the reason these kids are going to grow up and hate themselves. I was at 397 pounds in my life. I know what it's like to be a big fat girl. And everybody made fun of me and called me names. I know what it's like to have nobody want to talk to me and thought because I was fat that I was disgusting and dirty and I didn't have a relationship with people and I didn't have friends because of it. Those children are going to grow up and have people bully them and call them fatso and all kinds of other things. And shame on a culture that would do that to our children. But shame on the parents that are doing that to their kids. If you were one of those parents, shame on you. I'm sorry, but shame on you. You need to get your butt in that kitchen. Tough love here right now, folks. Get your butt in that kitchen and start cooking for your kids the way your mom cooked for you, the way your grandmother cooked for you. I guarantee you, if you look back at the Waltons or Little House on Prairie, they didn't have any obesity. Look back to television, the happy days. Look back to people back in the olden days. You didn't see people 300 plus. You didn't see stores that had 3X, 4X. I wore a 4X shirt and pants. 4X, folks. If you don't believe me, it's in the banner. There was not clothing stores that were making bras that were 48 triple G's. What is going on? When we just keep adding more and more and more and more material to our closet and to our store instead of saying, wait a minute, this is an epidemic. And as a child, if you're one of those parents and you are feeding your kids this crap, shame on you. They will have diabetes. They will have heart failure. They will need quadruple bypass by the time they are 16 years old. It is time for you people to wake up. I woke up. Unfortunately, it took me 40-something years. Do not do that to your children. Please do not do that to them. You love them. You love them so much. To love them right way. Buying them cookies. Who buys the cookies in a house? Who buys bags of chips and Captain Crunch is not a cereal, folks? Little things that are blue, purple, and got marshmallows and green and yellow stars. It's a gimmick. It's a scam. You are sending your kids to school with a big bowl of sugar. Just get some white sugar and dump it in a bowl and put a spoon in there. Lucky Charms was my favorite, and so was Captain Crunch. It was the best. Apple Jacks. I love them all. But you need to just take a big bowl of sugar. Say, here, son. Here, daughter. What about Pop-Tarts? Come on. What are we doing? What about getting in the kitchen and scrambling them an egg? What about making them some oatmeal? Make them want it. Put some bananas. Put some stevia if they need sugar. Put some, because it comes from a plant. Put some raw honey in it. Be passionate about your kids. Be passionate. Make them some oatmeal. Love them enough to get in the kitchen. Stop sending your kids downstairs or telling them to go eat. And they say, what am I supposed to eat? There's cereal in the cabinet. Is there really cereal in the cabinet, or are you really giving them a big box of sugar? It's come time for me to say, I don't care what this freaking internet is used for. In my particular room, we will use it Sundays for health. We will get a message to you whether you hate me or love me. It makes no difference. But you've got to love yourself and your kids enough to say, I am the reason that I have a fat 150-pound-year-old 10-year-old. Your kids do not have the keys to the car to get to the store or your wallet to go buy the food. And when you are sending your kids to school with $5 so they can go eat out of a frickin' vending machine, shame on you. You make your children some lunch. And you make yourself, if you won't make it, you make your kids learn how to cook. I'm not saying that, Jenna. I'm saying that if your kids are eating out of a vending machine, they will have problems later. They will have problems. We have to love our kids enough to pack a lunch like we did. I used to be mad at my mom when I was a kid because she would make us pack her lunch, and all the cool kids had a lunch tag or a lunch card. And I didn't. And I was so mad at my mom because I was embarrassed to carry a little brown bag. And what in time my mom would get the little colored ones or a cute little lunch pail. And I felt like I was the poor kid on the block. But my mom loved me enough to say, I don't care what Johnny, Bobby, and Sally, and Susie are doing. You're going to eat right. And yeah, occasionally I would swap out my lunch with somebody else or whatever. But as time went by, I learned to eat good as a child. My mom took the time to love me enough to cook. Eating Kraft macaroni and cheese is not a meal, folks, even though you can get 5 for $1. If you are making Kraft macaroni and cheese and giving that to your kids for dinner, they have had zero nutritional value. That is fake noodles and fake processed cheese. The only thing that may be nutrition in there is that little third of a cup of milk. By the time you cook that milk in the noodles, that is no longer nutritional. It's loaded with sodium. I'm sorry for getting angry, and like I told Thomas, that sometimes when I talk, it sounds like I'm pissed off at you guys. I'm not pissed. I'm just passionate. I'm passionate. It's time for us to stop hating ourselves. We hate ourselves because if we loved ourselves, we would embrace this day and say, today's the day I'm going to eat right. Today's the day I'm going to make my children eat right. But they want candy and they don't want an apple. Teach them. Retrain them. The cool thing about a dog or a cat or a child is they can be retrained. A man usually cannot. No offense. Neither can a woman. Once you establish bad habits as a child, you have established those for the rest of their life. Nothing wrong with having a little bit of candy in the house. It's called moderation, and it's called options, and it's called fruit roll-ups are not fruit at all. Stop buying the crap. They're not fruit at all. Capri Suns. I don't know if you noticed this, but you might want to Google this or YouTube it. Capri Suns last year were sued. Capri Suns have claimed that they have real juice in them. They were sued because they come in a little aluminum container. You put the little straw in. They had mold in them. Not just one, but countless pouches full of mold. Because they fermented inside the little tiny packages. Write this down. Go Google it. Capri Suns and mold. Please go YouTube it. You will freak out. They sliced it open and saw all this green toxic slime in there. This is what you are giving your children. Not one. It wasn't a mistake. Countless pouches are all over the place full of mold. If things are convenient for your kids, it cannot be good for them. You can read labels and make better choices. Please go look that up on YouTube. Please, just type in bad Capri Suns. Just type in Capri Suns and mold. You will gross out. So, why we have so many fat people in America besides ourselves? If you want to be fat, I hate the word fat, but if you want to be fat, be fat. The big girls I used to be, I love all this. What are you talking about? Ooh, yeah. Look at my butt. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I was twerking and popping it. It's like there was no tomorrow. That's fine. Okay? Be a big girl, be proud. But if you're a big girl and you ain't healthy, or a thin girl and you're not healthy, it makes no difference what your body looks like. When you get diagnosed with dementia because of you made bad food choices, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? Thomas, give me a little bit of a break real quick while I go read my notes, and you come on up right behind me. Thank you.
Damn, V. Y'all feel all that passion? Baby wasn't pissy. She was just passionate, or is just passionate. Okay. Now, I've got 3 or 4 things I want to go with right now. Beige, and you say not getting my cam. If somebody else isn't, let me know and I'll repost. In the meanwhile, we mentioned food label reading. Here's 6 quick tips on the food label reading. Tip number 1, just some translations for you folks. Low fat. Low fat basically translated means it's an alternative to real healthy fats in which they've added lots of sugar and some chemical cocktail that is worse for you than fat ever was. Remember a week or 2 ago we first mentioned the book Food Rules by Michael Pollan, and one of the first of the food rules was like you don't want to eat things, the chemical cocktail, food like stuff, where you go to read that label and it's got words you can't pronounce unless you did a lot of science classes and can read those multi-syllabic things. You don't want to eat chemical cocktail foods. Say, low fat, avoid it. No sugar added. Food marketing translation number 2. The translation, instead of sugar, back to that chemical cocktail, we added a variety of sweet tasting chemicals that not only cause headaches and weight gain, but are so carcinogenic. Can you say aspartame, NutraSweet, saccharin? Those things are the sweet tasting chemicals that cause headaches and weight gain and are carcinogenic. Number 3, this brings us back to our beaver ass folks. A mix of additive and harmful chemicals. Artificial flavoring, is number 3. Artificial flavoring, additive chemical cocktails to trick your brain into thinking you're eating something healthy. Number 4, natural flavoring, has a tiny drop of real food added to the chemical cocktail, artificial flavors, salt, sugar, and processed junk. Food marketing translation number 5, contains real fruit. Well, you already know where that shit's going. We might only add a drop of concentrated juice, but don't worry, it's just more sugar and GMO corn syrup and artificial flavors. Artificial flavor beaver ass for that vanilla type flavor. And then you want to also beware of multigrain wheat. Now the other day, it might have been yesterday, Veronica and I were talking about our differences in eating style and such, and how, like, for me, I'm kind of still an omnivore, and I'm gonna have my meat. Like one of the fellas said, he had grits and ham and eggs or something like that this morning. That's all kind of well and good. But here's the thing that I happened to stumble across just before V and I were having this conversation, where I mentioned this one last week too, folks. Between V and myself, you guys get the blessing of having two extremes on a pendulum swinging spectrum. Baby girl, Miss Veronica, is over there, totally committed to her vegan lifestyle and can do well by it. Over on my other side, I'm somewhat committed to my omnivore lifestyle, with the caveat that I'm not that much into eating all that meat. I make sure I get a variety of vegetables, a variety of colors, eating the rainbow and that type of thing. So here's this deal, a little food for thought, from a fellow named Mike Anderson. As far as eating is concerned, humans are the most stupid animals on the planet. We kill billions of wild animals to protect the few animals that we eat. We are destroying our environment to feed the animals we eat. We spend more time, money, and resources fattening up the animals that we eat than we do feeding humans who are dying of hunger. The greatest irony is that after all the expenses of raising these animals, we eat them, and they kill us slowly. And rather than recognize this madness, we torture and murder millions of other animals, trying to find cures to the diseases caused by eating animals in the first place. That's kind of deep to me, which says, pay attention to what you're eating. Do your best to lean away from a lot of meat proteins. The meat thing, as V pointed out with her passionate plea to y'all, watch Vegucated and 2 or 3 of the other documentaries that cover this kind of stuff. You'll see the meat industry is a pretty disgusting place. Killing meat prep is not a pretty thing, and the lives of those animals doesn't amount to a good way to live or be processed for food. But that's a story for yet another time. I have there was here's a quick thing for you folks as an aside. A natural thing for combating colds. You can take 6 lemons and some garlic, a teaspoon of ginger, a tablespoon of honey, and mix that up with 3 cups of pineapple juice and a little bit of cayenne powder. Mix that up real well, and you can drink shots of that. If you're starting to get sick, you can drink it while you're getting sick, and it will do your body a good favor and move that disease stuff right along. Voodoo, not quite voodoo, pal. There was, yeah, he said shots. Yeah, so nature's flu shot, in fact, is what the article calls the thing. Nature's flu shot. So, guys, here's another point I wanted to make here. As our thing here goes, part of the mission is primarily to share our healthful lifestyle and knowledge. Now, it's not our mission to get you. You're not going to eat like Jammin'. You're not going to become V. The main point here is to pick up what's going to work for you. Absorb what is useful for yourself. Discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own to this. You got to find yourself between the two of us. If you're going to lean more towards and go hardcore vegetarian, bless you, go for it, because you will be much healthier for it. Veronica, it's your mic, love.
Thank you, Thomas. All right, so we're going to talk about, thank you for that information. It's very, very, very well researched. Nothing that Thomas and I are saying is opinions. We will give our opinions about what we research, or facts and opinions, but we are not making this stuff up, folks. That's the lovely thing about Google. You have the ability to research yourself. If you want to drink and smoke, that's fine. But if you want your children to be taken care of you, listen to me, or your wife or your husband, keep it up. We are responsible for the one body and the one chance that we have to get it right. Is there anything wrong with drinking in moderation? I don't have a problem with it. Is there anything wrong with smoking? I have a big problem with it. I used to smoke 3 packs a day. There's nothing that can prove to me that there's anything good about a cigarette. Not a thing around in the world. There's not one. Matter of fact, these e-cigarettes, let's talk about those real quick. Is it better to smoke an e-cigarette or a regular cigarette? None of them are good. If you think you're smoking an e-cigarette and those things are healthy, I beg to differ. They are better for you than a regular cigarette. They are better for you than a regular cigarette, but there are statistics that show you that vapor pens are causing all kinds of problems, but that's for another day. Why can't we just be responsible, as James takes his Jack Daniels in, or whatever he's got his tequila? Why can't we be responsible, hi hon, why can't we be responsible enough to say, I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just going to do it? If it was that simple, none of us would have a drinking problem, an eating problem, a gambling problem, a sex problem, lack of sex problem, lack of relationship problem, lack of husband problem, which I need one, lack of wife problem, which some of you want to get rid of your wives, like James may be thinking after a couple more shots. I'm just kidding. She's the best. We've got problems, and problems will always be in our lives, folks. But how we handle it and what we do with it is the key. Anyway, I'm not going to get into a debate about smoking. I'm just going to tell you that statistics will show you that more people die from cigarettes than live. Yes, there are people that are 110 years old in nursing homes that smoke cigarettes, but if you were to do the math, the fact is that more people die from cigarettes than they do when they live. I'm not going to get into a debate about that. What I would like to say is that you get one choice and one chance. I'm going to talk to you, Thomas and I, about wrapping this up here in a minute. I was telling you about my meals every 4 hours. That's your key. Every 4 hours, the size of your fist. You can eat as many vegetables with each meal as you want. Vegetables are called free foods. As a matter of fact, I implore you to eat a whole plate of greens of every kind of color, of every bell pepper, every mushroom, every radish, every celery, every artichoke, whatever. There is no limit. People are asking me, is there such a thing as eating too many greens? No. I want to talk to you about supplementing your fiber. I told you last week it's a good thing to take fiber. It is a good and a bad thing. Hear me out. If you are juicing and you are taking fiber, you may notice something. You may notice that you are now becoming constipated. If this is the case, back off on your natural psyllium husk. If you notice yourself becoming constipated. Okay? Too much fiber will actually turn into bulk into your belly and into your intestines. It will make things hard to pass through. Do I want you to take fiber? Yes. Do I want it to pull out your cholesterol? Will it pull out cholesterol? Yes. Will it help your kidneys? Will it help your bowels? Yes. But if you are juicing already and you are eating healthy, you only need to use half of the recommended dose. 1 time a day. If it said 1 tablespoon, then you should take a half or a fourth or a third. You got to listen to your body. You should be having, I know we're here going back with the bowel movements. Bowel movements mean move. You should be having a bowel movement 3 times a day. 2 to 3 times a day at the least. They should not, what? Should they sink or float? Come on, folks. Should your bowel movement sink or float? This is a class. We're going to talk about things that may be gross. Doesn't matter if it's too much information. This is needed information. This may save your life. My mom died from ovarian and colon cancer. This information that we are giving you may have saved her life. If you think you're supposed to sink, you are wrong. That means something is wrong with your gut. If you are juicing and you are taking fiber, you should be eating probiotics. Everybody should be eating probiotics. You can get them from yogurt. You don't have to buy them. You can get them from kefir. Kefir is a form of a living culture, acidophilus. You can take living acidophilus. You need probiotics in your life the older you get. If it sinks, it's not healthy. If it floats, it's better. You should be going to the bathroom, a bowel movement 2 to 3 times a day. Just like an animal. Have you ever noticed when you feed your dog, they want to go out and do what after they eat? No, they did not, Lynn, but that's all right. What should it do? What does your dog do when they go? What does your dog do after it eats? What do you do as soon as you feed your dog? You're paranoid to leave your dog in the house or your cat. After they eat, they always go to their what? Litter box? Or the dog goes outside to do what? Urinate. And number 2. Because we were never meant to walk around all day holding our bowel movements. But most of us, like myself, are afraid to use on the go a public bathroom because to much to our dismay in America, they are violently filthy. They are disgustingly filthy. So what we do is we hold this in. We hold it in, we hold it in, and we hold it in, and we lose that urge. We have gotten systematically trained not to go to the bathroom. We have also become systematically trained to sit on the toilet reading a book. James, can you hear me? Lush. I guess not. We have also gotten systematically trained to sit on the toilet and read a book. If you are reading a book while you are going to the bathroom, you are doing 2 things. You are harming your intestines and your rectum. Because you are pushing and straining, reading a book, pushing and straining, reading a book, pushing and straining as a habit. That is a muscle that was never meant to push and push and push. If something is not coming out of there, you need to stop. And you need to rub your hand in counterclockwise and reverse it. Stop pushing and stop having to use medication for hemorrhoids and wonder why you're going to get those things cut off. You should not be sitting on the toilet reading books. If you're clogged up, take your hand on your belly, watch me, and move it. Flat-hand it and move it. Even stand up and push on your belly and move it and turn it around and sit down and be done with it. If you can't go to the bathroom, you ever notice a dog, he's trying to go to the bathroom, he can't go, but he walks a couple feet and he's got to go again? That's what you may have to do. Get up off the toilet, go do something, and find the urge again. Listen to your body. You have to start going to the bathroom, folks, on a regular basis. If you are the kind of person that doesn't go to the bathroom for 1 to 3, 4 days, if you're not going to have a bowel movement for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, how many have that problem? Be honest. I'm talking about this. It might sound embarrassing, but let's talk about it. This is a class for a reason. This may save your life. If you are not going to the bathroom for 1, 2, or 3 days, give me a 1. I'm not the only person that ever dealt with constipation, folks. Laxatives are not your friends. Give me a 1 if you ever have had that problem. How many have said to myself, I need some Ducalax, some Metamucil, some Fibercon, some Fiber Ones, whatever. It is not your friend to take the laxative. You are stripping all of the minerals out of your body. You are causing your body to purge, and you are causing your body, yeah, it feels good to get it all out, but it should be naturally dumping itself 2 to 3 times a day. If you are eating right, you will not need to take laxative or milk of magnesia or any of those things. You need to drink fiber when in your juice. Make that juice. Make your remedies, folks. Here, write this down. Your remedies are as simple as grandmother's remedies. Old-fashioned things like honey and lemon when you're sick. How many had a grandma that would say, oh, baby, come here. What's the matter? Open up your mouth. Oh, you got a sore throat? I'll be right back. And she would go make you some tea. Add some honey. And she would give you some chicken soup. Those are the things that are your remedies. Not pills, not laxatives, not things in a bottle, not Robitussin, not these cough syrups. You can look on the YouTube and you can look. The beautiful thing about YouTube is every recipe is out there. Every single thing, every cure is out there. There's an answer in your kitchen for everything. Or in your garden. Stop going to the doctor and getting more antibiotics and more when you can use things like oil of oregano. Is one of the greatest antibiotics out there. Go on the internet and write natural remedies for my GERD or my acid reflux. You can eat an apple, folks, to get rid of your GERD and your apple. That apple, look it up if you don't believe me. Take the skin off the apple. If you're eating Tums and Rolaids like it's candy bars, you need to eat an apple. It will actually metabolize that GERD in your body. It will actually break down the acids. That apple cider will actually now neutralize that acid and get rid of it. It will neutralize a cold. And if you were sick and you were popping down antibiotics one after the other, when the day comes in the world where you really need antibiotics, guess what's going to happen? Those super bugs will not be able to be combated. If you were one of those people that always go, I'm sick, I'm going to go get antibiotics, guess what? You are breaking down your colon, you are breaking down your stomach lining, you are breaking down your intestines, and you are taking out, with antibiotics, you are taking out your natural probiotics. Your natural body, your natural probiotic source is gone and depleted. Let's talk about fiber real quick. If you are eating and juicing properly, you do not need to take fiber, but if you would like to bring your cholesterol down, you can take half the dose of Metamucil without the sugar. Please do not be fooled by Metamucil when it says naturally flavored or sweetened. If you are taking fiber that says naturally flavored, orange flavored, stop doing that. If you can't stomach the taste of it, because it's nasty, because if you stir it up and you can't chug it down real quick, it's nasty. What you will do is actually get just psyllium husk, just regular old-fashioned psyllium husk, regular psyllium husk. I want to show you something that I don't use this one, okay? This is an empty jar. This one says orange flavored. Do you really think there's oranges in here? Do you really think there's oranges in here? Let me tell you what's in here. FDC and yellow RBC and number 6. What is that? What in the hell is in here? It's chemicals. You are trying to get rid of chemicals, but you're going to dump out chemicals. You're going to add more chemicals. And it's food colorings and natural orange flavorings. It's not orange at all. So get yourself some regular FiberCon or psyllium husk. Just the old-fashioned psyllium husk. Do you have to do it every day? No, but if you're trying to bring down your cholesterol, just a quarter of it. Half the dosage or a third of it or a fourth of it daily if you're not going to juice. If you're juicing, you shouldn't need to do it, but if you'd like to bring your cholesterol down, that's fine. I take it because I had a problem. I was one of those people going to the doctor getting all kinds of things like, what's that test when they put chalk up your rectum and you get this enema, something enema, I forget, and they check your intestines of why you can't go, barium enema. Yeah, barium enema. I was getting those done all the time because they couldn't find in a colonoscopy, and I had all these things and they couldn't go to the bathroom. But what I found out was I wasn't drinking water. I drink 240 ounces of water a day. That's what I drink. If you drink it 8 ounces 8 times, you should be good to go. It's about approximately a little less than a gallon. If you live in Arizona, you want to drink way more than that. If you're doing hot exercises, you want to drink more than that. But I wasn't drinking enough water. I hated water back in the day. Now I'm addicted. You always see me tipping the bottle like James right over there. James, shot time. Okay? James got his beer. I've got my water. We're good to go. Cheers. All right. If you think you're getting enough fluids from a beer, you're wrong. If you're going to drink your beer, you better drink 64 ounces of water a day. So, getting back to my psyllium husk. take in your fiber to be confused. Do not get unsweetened. If it says no sugar added, it's got toxins. The word no sugar added that's label reading again. Remember, note. No sugar added means there's toxins in it. Low fat means there's toxins and sugar added. Stop falling for the label scams. Okay? So now we're going to get back to the rest of my day. I've had my snack. I've had my nuts. Now I've had my chicken. Well, I'm a vegan now, so I'm going to tell you what I used to eat. I had my chicken. I had my salads. I asked you how many people are eating salads and still fat. If you're eating salads and expect to lose weight on salads, you're not going to lose weight. You will lose 3 to 5 to 10 pounds on salads. You will not. We are not rabbits. We cannot just eat a little teeny bit of salad and call it a meal. Eat protein with your salad. Some form. Eat beans in your salad. If you're a vegan like me, eat beans. Eat quinoa. Does anybody know what quinoa is? It's one of the greatest foods in the world. It's not rice, but it's one of the greatest grains in this earth. But it is not a complete protein. It's almost a complete protein, but it's a grain. This here takes less than 5 minutes to make. It will absorb any flavor you want. It tastes better than rice. I hate rice, but if you're going to eat rice, remember, anything white ain't rice. White sugar, white flour, and white rice. Get brown rice. Okay? Eat quinoa. I eat tons of this. I make a big bowl of this. I put some onions and some garlic, and you could put some kale in there. You could put whatever you want in your chicken, and you could put your steak in there. You could whatever you want. Okay? You can eat it. You can eat what you want to eat with it. Lentils, folks, they are your friends. Lentils are amazing. They have brown lentils. They have red lentils. They have white lentils. They're amazing. You can add a little bit of wine with these if you want. Just a cup of these with a thing of water is made in 5 minutes. Why should your children be eating fast food when you can make these things that literally cost $1? This little bag cost $1 at the dollar store. And let me tell you this recipe. It was the most impressive lentil recipe I ever came across. Listen to this. It has 1 cup of lentils. Okay, 2.5 cups of low sodium or no sodium broth. A half of a cup of red wine. That sounds good to the people like to drink, huh? If you're an alcoholic, don't use red wine. Okay, use vinegar. That's fine. You can use red wine vinegar. All right? You can use black pepper. And you could also use seasoned salt and olive oil and fresh garlic. And that is done in 5 minutes. It's amazing. There's no reason why you're not making things that are taking 5 minutes. Lentils. What else do I eat? So I'll eat those throughout the day. You can eat lentils, and you can eat quinoa, and you can eat brown rice, you can eat chicken, you can eat tuna, you can eat salmon. Those things are your friends. You've got to know where you're getting those things from next week. We will definitely be telling you what fish is safe. Should you be getting fish from the Pacific or the Atlantic? We will debate that next week. We will be telling you what does free range really mean? What does cage-free eggs really mean? Does it mean anything at all? Why are we paying freaking $500 for an egg when we can get it for 99 cents? We'll be talking to you about farm-raised fish. Lord help you if you're eating farm-raised fish. I thought I knew, but you really don't know. Tilapia was one of my favorite fish, and guess what? It is one of the nastiest things you can put in your body. Wait till we tell you about tilapia. Tilapia farms, let me just give you a preview of what next week's going to be about. Farm-raised, they take all the 12 foot of chicken shit, listen to me and look at my camera, pig shit, and cow manure, and they throw it in there as their food. Back in the day, they used to eat other fish, and more fish, and more fish. And so fish was a good food. If you are not getting your fish wild, should be on the label. If it's not wild, you are eating nasty, disgusting, colored red. Salmon is not red, folks. Salmon is not. We've already talked about bottled water. We've been there, done it for 4 weeks. We've already debated why it's bad for you. Okay? You restart classes. Unfortunately, we are recording some of this, so hopefully. Salmon is not red. Hopefully you'll get to see the recording. Okay? It is disgusting. You're right, Bridget. Salmon in a farm is not supposed to be red, but yet they add red to it to trick you and make you look like, ooh, it's sparkling, it's fresh, and it's alive, and it's vibrant, and my skin's going to look good because look how good this fish looks. It is not good for you. We'll talk about that next week. Tilapia is the pond scum of the scum of fish, and yet it was one of my favorite foods. Oh, lemon pepper tilapia, jalapeno tilapia. I live in Arizona where a lot of Mexicans cook the best tilapia you'll ever get your hands on. And I'm going to be talking to you. If you want to eat meat, we're going to teach you how to eat it. If you want to still eat, I've done both. I love meat. Okay? I love it, but I don't eat it. There's a reason why I don't eat it, and you'll find out next week why. So how many have lost weight in here? Start raising your hands. How many have done some of these things that we're talking about? Start raising your hands, please. Yes, fish. Yes, honey. We will talk about fish next week. We're not going to have time for that today. We're on a time frame. We don't want to over bombard people. We have an actual, schedule. I need everybody that's doing this. Everybody that's drinking lemon water. Everybody that's on a diet, which is not really a diet, but changing their life. People have given up drugs. Now let me look at my calendar. 23 days ago, Voyer, who was one of the biggest, I hate the word drunk on Pal Talk, I ever came in contact with. When she was drinking, she was very mean. When she's not drinking, she's the nicest person you'll ever get to know. She is 23 days sober for the first time since 2009, since she started my class and Thomas's class. That is impressive, and if that's the one person that got helped in this room, then it was worth it. She bought a juicer. She's taking fiber. She's infusing her water. She's drinking lemon water. She bought the protein that I told her to buy, which, by the way, there is a specific protein. If you are drinking whey protein drinks, you are sorely mistaken, folks. Whey is made from cow udder milk. It is made from the dirtiest, filthiest conditions. It is when the cow udders are being on these machines for 24 hours a day. They never take them off the machines. And their udders are infected. The pus goes into our milk. We'll talk about that next week. The pus goes into the whey, and the blood drips in there, and then they bleach out the milk. That's why your milk looks clear, or thinned out, or watered down. They stir in the blood, and they stir in all that stuff, and the infection is in your whey. So what do I want you to do? I don't care what protein you buy. I don't care what company you buy, but you want to look for these things real close, folks. This is the brand that I buy. I've researched it. I must have researched 2 weeks solid at least. I read all the ingredients. I weighed the pros and cons. Number one, I got it because it's organic. Number two, I look for everything that says non-GMO. We will talk more next week about GMOs, genetically modified and altered foods. If you see that it doesn't have that label, you better avoid it and run like the plague. This is protein powder. It's called Raw Fit. This will be a substitute for a meal. It is low calorie for diabetes. It fights your cravings for alcohol and food. It is vegan, which means there's no animals harmed and no animal fat in it. It is gluten-free. It is dairy-free. It is soy-free, which soy is very bad for you. We've talked about that. Soy used to be a good food, but now soy is not good for you. It is not your friend. Soy is making man boobs and cancer at alarming rates. And estrogen. You eat too much soy, you are going to fill your body full of estrogen. So you want to use protein powder, because when I don't have time to eat and I don't feel like cooking, I'm making me a protein shake. Yes, man boobs. Moves. Okay? Yeah, soy. Who knew? Loved soy, loved tofu, lived on it, ate edamame beans all day long, loved it. Use soy milk like silk. Get off of it. Get on almond milk, folks. Get on hemp milk or almond milk. Please use things that are from the earth like almonds and hemp seeds. You can make, the name of that is called Raw Fit. It is made by Garden of Life. This will not make you lose weight if you don't want it to. Protein powders will only make you lose weight if you're cutting out other calories. This is one of the best, most complete proteins because it has all your amino acids, all your L-ceins, your aminos, all of them. Okay? Your lysines. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. It's made from sprouts. It's made from pea. It's made from, not pea, real pea protein, hemp protein, all those things. Soybeans are very, very bad for you in different formats. Real raw soybeans in small moderations are okay. They're okay. But listen to me. Just Google. Please Google this. Google this. Soybeans and cancer. That's all you need to do. That's all I'm going to say about it. Because we can debate this, the vegetarian and the vegan. I can tell you, I used to think that that's all I needed to eat. But I'm going to tell you that there are so many articles out there that will freak you out. That is made by Garden of Life, by the way, that protein powder. It is not expensive to eat healthy. You can find coupons for that on the internet. Look for coupons for Raw Fit. Use a $5 coupon and buy your food. Be wise about this, folks. Okay, I'm going to let you guys talk. If you are doing any of these things I've said, I want to hear some feedback. I want to know who's doing what in here. Lynn, Steve, Thomas, Irving, Queen. Come on. I know you guys are doing some of it. Morena, Jenna, Celine. I know you are doing some of this stuff. Why would we want to eat? Do we want to eat protein or do we want to eat protein powder? What do you think? If you have the option and you're not on the go, what should you eat? Real protein or protein powder? Which is better for you? Who thinks protein powder is better for you? Who thinks protein powder is better for you? Everything real is always better. The same thing goes for garlic. Fresh garlic or garlic powder. Same thing with anything. Parmesan cheese or processed Parmesan cheese. Anything real is always going to be better. But if you need to gain weight, you need to take in protein shakes. If you want to lose weight, you want to take in protein shakes. What do I mean by that? That sounds like an oxymoron. If you want to gain weight, you need to eat more protein and eat more often. And that means supplement it with protein drinks. If you want to lose weight, you're going to cut down on your meals and supplement it with a protein powder or a protein source to drop weight. Does that make sense? Have I lost you guys? You need to eat more if you're trying to gain weight and get muscles. So you'll take in protein powder. Okay? If you're doing that already, you need to start finding out, like quinoa. You know, you asked me, how can I gain weight? You want to eat things that are going to put on muscle mass. Muscle weighs more than fat. Stop worrying about what the scale says. If you feel too skinny and you got a high metabolism, then we will help you with that. But you need to start Googling, what foods will help me if I have a high metabolism? Why can't we simply just go and Google something? If we've got a question, don't ask Thomas and I. What I tell Thomas all the time, he tells me is, let's go to Google. We were on the phone yesterday for 2 hours. We went to Google. I said, let's find out what fiber content is in Fiber One bars. What I wanted to talk to you about Fiber One bars is not fiber, and we talked about that as we opened up, is because it said corn syrup and high fructose and so on and so forth. It was loaded with sugar. Why not get simply in your kitchen and eat fiber? Everything that is a fix, a quick fix, is not a fix. It's a hindrance to you. Fiber comes from your kitchen. It doesn't come from a freaking candy bar. If it looks like a candy bar, it is a candy bar. Nutrition bars are not candy. I mean, they're not candy bars, but they are. Trail mix, folks, is not your friend unless you make it yourself. It needs to have almonds in it. It needs to have walnuts and nuts in it without salt, without sugar. And I showed you this last week. What does the ingredients say? Cranberries and sugar. This is in trail mix. Why would something already naturally sweet need sugar? These are not your friend. Buy regular cranberries, dried cherries, and look at the ingredient. And if it says sugar added, you're trying to lose weight, folks. And so what you do when you're eating trail mix, that's adding sugar and more sugar. And M&Ms are in trail mix at Costco. Come on. It tastes amazing, but it's not a diet food. It's not a food that's going to help you lose weight. Get a big container like this, fill it full of nuts, put some cranberries, put some dried cherries in there, put some raisins, whatever you want. Oh, yeah, it's amazing, Trixie. The M&M's in the trail mix, I've had it, I know. It's not your friend. And I can't just eat one handful. I got to eat the whole bag. You want to make your own trail mix, so put stuff in there. You can use carob chips. They are your friend. They are made from cocoa of the earth. They are not sugar. They are not chocolate chips. Carob chips are your friend, folks. Coconut. Let me show you some ingredients that are your friends. All right? I showed you this before. I love peanut butter. Use real peanut butter with homogenated oil in it. Buy peanut butter that says 2 ingredients. Peanuts and salt. Sea salt. That's it. That's all it should say. Natural peanut butter. There should be 2 ingredients, or go to the store where they make your peanut butter for you. Or guess what you can buy. This stuff is amazing. Look at what it says. 80% less calories. And I know it says less fat, but it's true to its nature. It's true what it says. Let me tell you what this is made from. Strictly ground up peanuts. The ingredients in this says peanuts and salt. And there is a little bit of sugar in there. There is. A little bit. But when you make your smoothies, you can do this, or your cookies, you can bake with this. You can get this on Amazon. This is a big thing like this on Amazon is like $4 or $5. This has less the fat, 85% less the fat, and low in calories, and it tastes amazing. I cook with this, and I make peanut butter smoothies. When I need a snack or dessert, guess what I make? I take my blender, I throw in some ice, and I put in some of this peanut butter powder, and I throw a banana in there, and I blend it up with some carob chips, and I've just made myself a Dairy Queen smoothie to die for. Thomas is going to wrap this up in a minute, and he's going to talk to you while I make a dessert and show you how amazing and how fast it can be. As I try to cook for you every time we have our class, we're going to wrap this up. You guys, I love you for being here. I love you for supporting this. I told you I would show you supplements for sugar. This is one of the most amazing tasting supplements. It does not taste like coconut. Do not be fooled by the word coconut. Organic coconut sugar to bake with and cook with and put in your coffee is amazing. Yet it's organic and non-GMO. This thing cost me about $5. Okay? It is amazing. You can get these things on Amazon or your local Whole Foods or your health food store. I don't go to Whole Foods a lot, even though I have the money to go there. I don't go there a lot because I call it whole paycheck. Okay? How many ounces is this? How many ounces is this? It is 1 pound, honey. I'm not done yet. I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. I want to show you how to make sorbet. The quickest way to fight a cure, like I told you last week, for a craving, is to fix it naturally in your kitchen. If you're hungry for salt, eat something sugary or sweet. If you need something sweet, write this down. If you need something sweet, go to the kitchen and get an olive or a pickle or something like hummus. Get the opposite of what you're craving. That's how you will lose weight. If you need something sweet, your body is telling you it's going to require more and more and more sweet. But if you stop it in the tracks. Why is that? Because we are a creature of habit. We're craving something sweet. Have you ever noticed that when you brush your teeth, you don't want to eat? That's another trick if you're trying to lose weight. Go and brush your teeth. How many times have you noticed that when you put something to the palate, it changed the craving that you had? You might have been very hungry, but you just brushed your teeth, and you're no longer hungry. Same thing when you want sweets. You no longer want it because you just now ate the reverse. Jalapeno stuffed olives is amazing. They are amazing snack. Olives are your friend, but try to get low sodium ones. What's not healthy? Nothing about honey bunches of oats is healthy. Nothing in a box is healthy. Make your own oats. Get oatmeal. Throw some raw honey on it. There's your honey bunches of oats. All right. So, I'm going to talk to you also before I get off here. How many think this is good? Look at the ingredients. Sounds good. Oats, honeys, raisins, and almonds. Boy, it's got to be good for me, right? Well, let me tell you, friends, a half a cup has how many grams of sodium? What did I tell you about the rule? less than 101. This one has what? Oh, excuse me, that's potassium, my bad. 30. Okay, right there. 30. Less than half a cup. 260 potassium. Well, here's the problem. It's good on protein. Here's the problem. That's a lot of freaking carbs for a half. But look at the problem. Sugar grams. My God. Not only is it high in carbs, but it's got 13 sugar grams. I could have a Snickers bar. I can eat a Snickers bar or a Kit Kat. But this says it's good for me. And when I turn around, it says there's thiamine in there, there's phosphorus, and there's magnesium, and there's calcium, and there's iron, and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's a bunch of crap. They trick you. Because look what it says. Label reading, 0. 0. How many people usually read this area over here? We see vitamins, we're like, oh, shit, that's good for us. I'm going to get it. Look at the factors. 10% really in this whole bag? Really? 0, 0, 0. Read your labels, folks. Wow. 210 calories for a half of a cup of this. Why can't you make your own granola? Do you know that the key is on YouTube? You throw some oats on a cooking sheet. You throw your oats on a cooking sheet, sprinkle a little brown sugar or some raw honey or some coconut sugar, cook that for 5 minutes, bingo, bango, boom. Now you just add your raisins and your almonds, and what did it say? Well, we said almonds and honey. Look, why can't you do that? Why? This is his stuff. Everything I'm doing isn't perfect. Everything I'm doing is working amazingly for me. Again, I'm going to show you this powder because I have a lot of whispers. What was that powder? It's called PB2. They make it in chocolate form and they make it in peanut butter form. It is amazingly, amazingly good tasting. And yet you've cut out 85% of your fat, even though this is not fat-free. Remember, I didn't fall for the label of fat-free. Charles's hands is up. This is exactly the time to start asking questions. Please put your hands up. This is a great class. This is a great group of people. I don't know how many people are in this room, but I'll tell you what, if you learn one thing today, it may save your life. We've got 105 people and 17 cams. I don't know about you folks, but I think people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. How many people are sick and tired of being sick and tired? No, you can put your hand down if you don't want to talk. Only hands go up if you're going to take the microphone. Do I know the nutritional value on freeze-dried fruit? Well, I can tell you that freeze-dried fruit is your friend and it is not your friend, both. If you are trying to lose weight, it is a lot of sugar. When you eat dried fruit, it is good for you. But when you eat dried fruit and you're trying to lose weight, it will pack the pounds on. Can I tell you something? When I first started drinking juice and juicing, I watched a movie and it's called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It's a documentary on Netflix you can watch for free. It changed my life. Everything about that changed my life. But I got in the kitchen, I bought a juicer, I bought a blender. I started juicing and the damn thing was so big and the parts were freaking hard to clean and you need a little wrench to open it up and a little scrub brush to get all the fiber out of there, and I was throwing half of my product away and I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit. There are benefits to juicing and there are benefits to blending. I don't give a damn how much you spent on one of them, a Revel, or Jackie Lane, or the kind that actually masticates your vegetables. They are a pain in the ass. And if it's a pain in the ass, we live in a fast food restaurant culture. We are not going to juice. So get rid of it and get yourself a blender. A Ninja? A bullet is too small, Whisper. A bullet is only this big and you can only put like 2 pieces of spinach and half an apple. That's not juicing. You need to be able to put all kinds of things under the rainbow in there with some ice and some water and blend it up. You buy yourself a $99 Ninja. If you have the money to buy a Vitamix, that's the Cadillac of blenders. A Blendtec is fine. A Ninja is fine. You do not want to juice your food until it's completely smooth. You need to juice it or blend it just enough to have crunchies. We are people that need to use our teeth. That's why we have teeth. You need to be able to chew your juice. Am I wrong, Thomas? Chew your juice. I don't mean where it's, like I said, big chunks of lettuce hanging out of your mouth or spinach. But you need to chew it. Okay, so right now I'm really kind of hungry for a snack. and I'm going to be making some popcorn, and I'm going to be using non-GMO corn. We talked to you in the very first week. We will talk next week again about meats and genetically modified altered food. We will tell you about genetically modified popcorn. Corn, anything on this earth was never meant to be modified. If the universe gave it to us as corn, it needs to remain corn. If we were given watermelons with seeds, it needs to remain watermelon with seeds. Last week I told you I saw cauliflower, now orange. What in the hell are we doing to this planet and to these vegetables? We are making all kinds of things modified. Purple and orange cauliflower. What are we doing? Folks, remember how your grandmother fed you. That's what GMO means, genetically modified. It means that the first, I'll tell you real quick before next week, and then I'll wrap it up. It means that the big 50-gallon drums, 100-gallon drums are sitting there soaking the seeds with toxins, pesticides, loaded before it even gets planted, because they're trying to get rid of the middleman. They're trying to get rid of the big. We used to have scarecrows and windmills in the fields to keep out the birds. All you had to do was put a scarecrow with hay and a big head and a big bandana and a big broom in his hand, and it would keep out the birds off your corn. But all of a sudden now, we are soaking the seeds and modifying the seeds. We are now making seeds at alarming rates that would normally take 6 weeks to grow. They can grow things in a week. Why are we buying seedless watermelon? Where did those come from? Watermelons were made with seeds. But all of a sudden, now we've got every color of vegetable that we never had before because things are being modified. If you can grow your own, great. God love you, but we can't all grow our own. A lot of us live in apartments, but you can still, believe it or not, grow your own vegetables and fruits in an apartment. Believe it or not, you can grow your own seeds. You can grow your own herbs. Some of you are growing weed. If you can grow weed, Lord knows you can grow a freaking vegetable or fruit. You can grow sprouts. You can grow just about anything in an apartment or even in a bathtub if you have to, or paint buckets or whatever. Oh, it's going to change, believe that. If we're not even allowed to collect rainwater in the United States, it's really pathetic when the government tells you that you're not allowed to collect your own rainwater or you'll go to prison. Believe that, Google that. It's a fact. Farmers are being arrested for collecting rainwater on their own farms. Just go ahead and Google it, Trixie. Go ahead and Google it. Not everywhere. There are other countries other places, not in every single state, but little by little, they're starting to punish you for collecting rainwater. Okay? It's a whole other topic. Different states are punishing people. I believe the last article I read, I could stand corrected. I think it was Oklahoma. A farmer went to jail and paid a $5,000 fine, Oregon. I stand corrected. I knew it was with the O. He paid a huge fine and went to jail for collecting rainwater. Do what you got to do. It is more than dumb. It is just ridiculous. There's also a little girl who built a vegetable plantation with her grandfather, a little garden with her grandfather before he died. She was 4 or 5 years old. I can't remember. Thomas, do you remember? And the government came and made her tear it up. Made her tear it up. Said that it wasn't going through the FDA, that food needed to start becoming regulated, and they made her get rid of it. Exactly. 5 years old for a sidewalk garden. You've got to take your own health into your hands and start fighting back and be the voice of the voice. Nothing by the FDA is ever approved to help us. They've never been there to help us. It's really sad when we are dying at alarming rates of illnesses, yet we know there's a cure. Okay? There you go. Thank you. He got 30 jail. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail and a $1,500 fine. Thank you. He should be allowed to collect whatever falls from the sky. That's just pathetic. 30-day sentence. And yet people are out there killing people. Killing people. Google the little girl's garden that she built with her grandfather that they made her tear up. Go watch on Netflix all the documentaries you can. Okay? Go watch the documentaries about farmers. Just type in the farmers, and you'll see all the different farmers that are being woke up by the feds. Bam, 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 with guns. Coming into the farmers. I'm not making this up. Coming in with guns. And making them go out and literally on the spot kill their livestock one at a time. Their sheep, their goats, their cows, their chickens. If you think I'm making this up, folks, you better go watch the documentaries. Making them kill right in front of their children and their wives. These people, this one couple, these were their pets, their llamas, their goats. I'm too angry. You know why? Because there comes a time I'm not angry at all. It comes a time when enough is enough. We are Americans and we live in other countries that have freedoms, and we are losing our freedoms. We are losing our liberties, and I am here to tell you that we are supposed to be taking back what was given to us. And that starts with today and your food and your water. Learn how that you can beat the system and beat your own body. I am not political. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. What I care about is whether you're going to live a good life. What I don't like is somebody telling me I can't grow my own fruits and vegetables. And I don't like, and believe me, go on Netflix or Hulu and watch the documentaries that are out there where people are coming in with guns and killing people's animals on the spot. It is alarming. It is breaking hearts. That's why I say pay attention to what's going on. Some of you never log off the internet. You don't know what's going on. You don't watch the news. You don't read the news. You need to be informed of what's going on. Yeah, Texas is going to be one of the places where they're going to have a hard time trying to instill martial law. Let me tell you that much. I'm moving to Texas. I'll be damned if they're going to tell me that I can't grow a vegetable, I can't carry a gun. I have no problem moving. Even though they have chiggers in Texas. I went to Memphis, Texas, and I didn't know what chigger was. And let me tell you something. Those little bitches lived in my body for 3 months, even though I put nail polish and acetone on them and fire and everything else. And nail polish, and then little bitches lived in my leg forever. But I'll move to Texas if it means I have to deal with chiggers, or I got to deal with martial law. Which some of you don't even know what martial law is, and we'll talk about that some other day, some other time when we're off in nutrition. But martial law applies to people who are trying to eat right. Let me tell you, if you're being told you got to kill your garden because the government says it's not FDA approved, that's all I'm going to say about that. It's time for Thomas to take the mic, and it's time for hands to go up with questions. And God bless you guys. Try to eat good this week. We're going to talk. Thomas is going to talk to you about one last thing. One last thing. How many want to eat right, do better? Give me a 1. How many want to do even a little bit better? Give me a 1. How many want to not be a burden to your wife or your children? How many not want to have your legs amputated and in a nursing home? How many want to make sure that you are not the burden for your children to take care of? Your children should not be taking care of you. You should be taking care of yourself. It starts with the calendar. Please go out and buy a calendar at the dollar store, Walmart, somewhere tonight. Tomorrow is Monday. You turn over a new leaf. You're going to mark 21 days in a row of what you did to change. I don't care what it is. For 21 days, it's up to you to dig within yourself. I use a distiller. I use a diffuser. I do all those things. Those are good choices, Whisper. Oh, yummy. Okay, you got 21 days to make a change. I don't care what it is. Go within yourself and say, self, which all seemed a little angry. I don't think I like her classes. But one thing I liked is that she's passionate about what she's doing to change her life. I want a little piece of that. How can I self get a little piece of that? How can I get a little piece of discipline? Because she's not the only one that owns discipline. You own it. You can grab discipline and you can be disciplined. Nobody makes you do that drug. Nobody makes you drink. And nobody makes you sit on here 24 hours a day. If you do nothing for yourself this week, you've got 3 times to get up and walk for 15 minutes. I'm only asking you to exercise 3 times this week for 15 minutes. Why can't you be on the computer and step in place? Walk in place. When you're happy, you never cam up any freaking way. We'll never know what you're doing. Why can't you stand in place and move for 15 minutes. Get those bowel movements. Get your body moving. Get your mind moving. Get your thoughts right. Get your mind right. Get a job. Get a life. Do not make this form be your only source of entertainment. Right now, I'm on here more than I've ever been because I'm healing. Guarantee you, as soon as I go back to work after my neck surgery, which is December 10th, to remove the loose skin off of my body, some of you don't know as you come in late, I have lost 262 pounds naturally. And I've kept the weight off for 2.5 years. I think I know what I'm doing. At least I hope I do. I'm going to have the loose skin removed on the other side of my legs. The links are in the banner. There's 3 links. You can see me on 2 news stations and the doctor show. October 16th it aired. I'm not better than anybody else, but I'll tell you one thing. Because I'm real and I truly care about people, I will continue to do this room. As long as you want to mock me or be here, it makes no difference to me. If you mock me, cool. If you love me, cool. What I'm here for is that maybe, even if you won't change, you'll change the way you feed your children. And we'll talk to you also about how you feed your pets. But that's not for a couple weeks now. I'm going to talk to you about some alarming things in pet food. The one thing you love in life more than your children are probably your pets. Your children and your pets are probably the one thing you love in life more than anything. You're going to be alarmed when I tell you about pet food. I love my dogs. I love my dogs so much that I wanted to know, I thought possibly, if I'm eating bad, I'm surely feeding my dog and cats bad. And I found out I was. God bless my heart for what I found out. That's another topic. So I'm going to ask Thomas to come up here and talk to you a little bit about what we're going to do for our mind this week. It's real easy to hear all this. It's even harder to do it. Who's willing to get a calendar? Give me a 1. A 99-cent calendar, a 50-cent calendar. I don't want you to use your phone. I don't want you to use Facebook. I want a calendar. If you see it, you will believe it. I want some changes made for 21 days. I want you to come back in 21 days from now and hold up your calendar. If you already started like Voyeur and kicked alcohol for 23 days, you need to go back and mark off 23 days. Now, after the 21 days, you will go another 21 days. Your scale is not your friend. Your scale does not tell you whether you have diabetes. Your scale does not tell you, Geo, whether or not you have kidney failure. Your scale does not tell you whether you have depression. Everything I just talked to you about battles depression. I have suffered or had suffered all my life with depression. I no longer have, man. If you are bipolar, you will love what I'm telling you. You will love how I'm teaching you, and Jam Reggae is teaching you how to eat. You will love this. After 21 days, you will flip it over and do another 21. And what happened was, please, if you have not watched all 3 links in the banner, there are 3 for a reason. Please copy and paste those and save it to Notepad. And in your spare time, go watch all 3 links. I went to the gym each and every single day for a year, and I have still gone for another year. But because of my surgery, I've had to take the past 4 weeks off. And last year, I had to take about a month and a half off when I was recovering from my other surgery. Okay? So, boy, that peanut butter tastes good. A little powdered peanut butter never hurt anybody. See, theirs was craving. I was craving something sweet, and I just had a little bit of saltiness in there and a little bit of sweet. Thomas, will you help me wrap this up about mental clarity for the week? We love you. We hope you find your blessings in this. I hope more than anything that you will, if nothing else, feed your kids better. If you're doing all this and your mind isn't quite right, and you're dealing with depression, there's things that you can do. Like I told you, I battled depression all my life. I no longer deal with depression. I am one of the happiest people. Yes, there are days when I get down. I'm one of the happiest people in the world now, thank God. I count my blessings. I have bad days and good days like everybody else. But do I literally dwell on depression? Do I find myself calling myself bipolar anymore or manic depressed? Nope. It's the food that I ate. Didn't take a little Prozac, didn't take the Xanax, didn't take anything. It was the food that I ate. Thomas, I love you for all of your planning. Let's give it up for Thomas, who is my backbone in this, man. He is a nutritionist. He is a mentor. This guy needs to be on television, wheelchair or not. He's 60 years old in his body. I'm going to ask you one more time to do me a favor, Thomas. Turn that light on. I know I'm embarrassing you. These people are coming in late. We got a whole room full that don't know what's going on. Thomas is a.k.a. Jam Reggae. This man is in a wheelchair. He is 60 years old. Please turn the light on, Thomas. This comes from yoga, meditation, and breathing and eating. At 60 years old. Fix that light and back up, Thomas. Back up and show me your abs. Back up. There you go. That's abs of steel. That's from a man that's in a wheelchair. If he can do it, you can do it. That's all I got to say about that. I love this man. If you have questions, he's on Facebook. You can find him. You can find me under Facebook. He's on the same page. He's one of the admins of that page. If you need questions or help, you can see Eva Winch. She is managing that Facebook page. There's no excuse to say, I've got back pain. I've got knee pain. I've got this and this and this. I was in a wheelchair for 14 years. He's in a wheelchair. Let that not be your excuse why you don't exercise or breathe right or eat right. It's Thomas's mic. He's going to close this up with like the Jerry Springer final thoughts about mental clarity and food for thought. I love you guys. As I say in every room that I speak in, take your eyes off yourself and put them on somebody else, because life is not just about you. Think about your kids. Think about your future. If you're 50, you've only probably got, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, 30 years? 30 years. 35 years. Seems like a lifetime. I hope that you live to 90. I hope you live to 100. But if you're 50 years old, if the way you're eating and drinking and smoking, the chances aren't going to be that great unless you make some changes. God bless you guys.
Alrighty, V. Another good job, sister. Yeah, we thank you guys for hanging out. And okay, real quickly, her thing about mental food. Our last point was simply make time for mental food. Like don't stay bombarded with the bullshit news. Don't stay bombarded with petty stuff. Find some time to do some reading on things that are mentally uplifting. Take time to breathe, folks. If you do nothing else for yourselves, learn to breathe. Just take a moment, like right now. Take your little quick inhale, but then exhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. Just exhale until it hurts. Exhale. Then when you go to inhale, you want to get a belly full, breathing like a champion, yes. And breathe till you do that 5-10 times if you can at all possible. That will be one of the ways in which you can calm yourself, clear your mind, get that deep breathing in, do the exercising like V showed last week. You know, one of the things with my little bit of ab stuff, doing that popping your ab thing. In and out is a good ab exercise. While you're sitting, you can do pelvic thrust in your seat. You can act like you're doing, what's that, a hula hoop? Hula hoop to the right, hula hoop to the left. You can do that sitting and still get your abs all exercised and work yourself up into a better fit state that way. For myself, as a quick review here, one of the guys mentioned his inflammation. I don't know if Mr. D is still here, but anti-inflammatory foods. You can address some inflammation issues, arthritis and such, by increasing your consumption of anti-inflammatory foods like apples and avocados, blueberries, cantaloupes, oranges, papayas, peaches, pears, and pineapples. On the vegetable side, arugula, asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, cucumbers, and sweet potatoes. Ginger, green tea, oregano, and turmeric. Turmeric is really one of the superfoods out there. It is your friend. You need to, if at all possible, introduce that one into your diet and any way you can. If you're not going to eat it, you can capsule it up and take it. Your body will not be mad at you for it. I'll say once again, folks, our mission here is not to get you to totally change to a Veronica diet or change to a Thomas diet. We're simply planting seeds of truths for health and nutrition in what we hope would be your fertile minds, so that you will take these little seeds of truth and grow your own personal lifestyle of health for yourself. I'd also have this one link going back to the foods thing that will better help you with eating alkaline foods and increasing your health that way. Go to this place. It's the best one I found of the numbers I've looked at. It offers the acid alkaline chart, which shows you the foods, and it's simply laid out where the foods would have a little red on them. They're acid things. You kind of want to not eat a mess of them. Go down the chart and you'll see as the things go from red on the far left over to green are where you'll be getting your alkaline foods in. If you mix your foods as per the one chart we posted last week that shows you how to combine the foods so that you are getting the maximum nutrition from them, and do the thing where you are going out of your way to get more alkaline foods in, fresh vegetables and fruits. You get more of those in, you'll be healthier for it. Yeah, the cashews are a very good thing. And so, folks, oh yeah, any kind of nuts are good. I love almonds. I get to grow almonds, and good for your mental health and clarity that way, folks. So I thank you all once again for coming, hanging out. Pick up what you need from us. Use as much as you can. Spread the knowledge, people. Spread the knowledge. Help yourselves, help your friends and family be more healthy. V? Hey, guys, we love you. I'm out.
All right. Thanks, Thomas. One of the reasons why we want you to breathe, if you can breathe right, you can get through any situation. Panic attacks, stress, that anxiety feeling, that sleep apnea. If you learn to breathe during the day, you can help your sleep apnea tremendously. You should look into yoga, and you should look into breathing techniques. You can, if you can't afford yoga, because Lord knows it's expensive, you can go to YouTube. Tai Chi, any of those martial arts, any of that. But if you can learn to breathe, okay, listen to me carefully, you can get through any situation. We're wrapping up our class. Okay, you can get free yoga classes on YouTube. Believe me, there's lots of instructors out there teaching you how to do it. You can go to Walmart, you can buy packs of them. If you can breathe, have you ever had a Charlie horse and it's so bad and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and you started getting yourself more worked up and more worked up and more worked up, that cramp becomes more intense. But when you, because I get them, that's part of my disability. When I breathe, come on, Veronica, talk to myself. Slow down. Stop panicking. Start breathing. You can take your mental clarity and your focus and redirect yourself. We want you to do that. And I also want you to do something real quick. This week, I want you to do 2 to 3 times something nice for somebody. 2 to 3 times I want you to do something nice for somebody. This is part of getting fit or quit. Something nice for somebody besides yourself. Think about that. What happens when you make somebody's day? What happens when you go visit people in a nursing home and you leave? Do I have anybody here that's listening? Because I don't know if you guys are. What happens when you give gifts to Children's Angel Fund or the little Christmas tree or whatever? What happens? They smile. What happens to your body? There's something to be said about this, folks. There's endorphin, serotonin, and melatonin, all these things that change the composition of how you feel. Making others feel good will make you feel good, which in return makes you look good. Have you ever watched somebody get off the airplane? Especially in Phoenix, because Lord knows we live in Satan's pound called hell. Have you ever noticed people at an airport, they always look pissed off? they're always, or their heads are down, or everybody's walking real fast, but nobody's saying anything, nobody's doing anything but looking pissed off. That's a place I don't like hanging out, because there's no happy people around there. Think about it. Find the people that are doing stuff, the shakers and movers. If you're hanging around people doing exactly what you're doing, you need to step it up and go above them. When I was hanging out with people in the gym that were doing the same routine every day, nothing changing, the same thing, they weren't losing weight and they just looked the same, but they were there every day, I said, man, something's wrong here. I want to go above that. I'm going to step it up. I'm going to come outside my box. So I did. After hanging around people, there's a theory out there. If you're hanging around people doing drugs, even if you didn't like drugs, eventually you may end up doing those. If you're hanging around people that drink all the time, you're going to drink all the time. Okay? If you're hanging around people who are stealing, you may not steal, but eventually you are a reflection of the company you keep. If you're hanging around people who are gambling, this doesn't apply to you. If it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. If it applies to you, you get within yourself, you find something that might trigger, then maybe it applies. But if you're hanging around people who are doing absolutely nothing, like for instance, have you ever hung around a room on this particular chat program that are negative, and all they do is bitch and complain and whine and bounce and badmouth people and backstab people, and they're constantly fighting, and admins are fighting, and the room's a disaster, and the room's splitting? I don't want to be a part of that room. That's why I'm in this room. Toxic people are toxic, period. It's a waste of space. It's a waste of time. I don't care if it's this program or any other program, Second Life or wherever you hang out. If you hang in a room or around your friends that are going places, that have jobs, that are working out, that aren't doing drugs, that aren't stealing, that aren't gambling, then you're going to be a happier person. You got to find people that make you go and feel good, and you've got to start with yourself. Look good, feel good, and don't rely on a man or a woman to make you happy, or a booze, or a drug. Find the answers within yourself. If you're going around people who are building businesses and companies, and people who are working out, and people who are volunteering, then guess what happens? You start to feel happy, and you don't need the Xanax, and you don't need the Prozac, and you don't have heart palpitations, you don't have high anxiety. Find people that make you happy, but you've got to make yourself happy first. I'm going to close here with any questions. Anybody have any questions or feedback for this room? I would like some of you guys to get on the mic and tell Thomas, if you could, what you're thinking, feeling, myself, or any questions. Thanks a lot, everybody.